Hello and welcome to the GCC Innova blog video for new features within Sage 200 2010. This is going to be the start of a series of videos because there's so many features I won't be able to cover it in a single blog, so I'm going to split them down into their various areas, and this particular one is going to be looking at some items that don't fit in a specific area. New features within 2010 are a new report designer, improved purchase order authorization, changes with regards to how analysis codes work, I'll be looking at that in this blog, retrospective stock valuations, and also changes to how you can do stock takes. VAT return submission online, we'll be looking at that in this blog. Expansion of workspaces, we'll have a quick look at that as well today. And changes with regards to project accounting, notably around report improvements and also introducing project accounting onto workspaces. And an entirely new bill of materials module. So that's not a complete list of all the new features, but I'll try and cover as many as I can in the next few blogs. So working over to the program itself, so we're in workspaces now, and there's been a whole bunch of new workspaces added in. Project accounting makes its first appearance within workspaces here. I'm looking at a new one here, which is purchase order authorization. I'll go through purchase order authorization, how it works, in a separate blog, but this particular workspace is looking at the items that require authorization and the details on those particular items. There's also been a change within how workspaces can be built, so now you can put charts into workspaces as well, so you can graphically see some of the data you're looking at. And just to give you a reminder on the fact that workspaces don't just have to link to Sage 200 data, you can also link through to other data. So here we're looking at a stock item list where we've embedded in a picture viewer, so we're looking at a picture of a stock item here. So if we click on a particular stock item, the viewer refreshes and gets a picture here. So this can be simulated for any sort of thing. If you've got a one-to-one link between this instance of stock item and a web browser, maybe looking for prices on a supplier website, or linking through to Excel sheets that have further data on the stock item, or linking through to CAD drawings, all of those sorts of things can be done within workspaces. And just to give you a further idea, they've added one in here called customer driving directions, where we've got a list of customers here, picking up the postcode, and we've got an embedded web browser where it's just passing through the customer postcode and it's going through to Google Maps, and we're getting the directions to that particular customer. So as we move around the customer list, the maps refresh down here, the postcodes are passed through, and the driving directions come through. So again, just an idea that you don't have to link to data within Sage 200. As long as you have a link outside of 200, then you can show that information within the workspaces as well. Again, drawing together the data so you can pretty much run the program from within workspaces if you wish to. So coming back to the regular main menu here, we're coming along to nominal ledger setup, ledger settings, and a new tab has been added in for VAT submissions. So here we can enable VAT submissions and or VAT payment. So here you'll be putting in your standard details for your bank accounts and your HMRC gateway. So as soon as that's saved, when you start to do your VAT return, the system will then automatically file it online with the Customs and Excise Gateway, and you will also get reports back on whether the filing was successful or not. So changes with regards to cash book here, so in bank reconciliation, perhaps you're doing a bank reconciliation and you got halfway through doing the reconciliation and didn't quite finish it off, you just needed to save it. Yes, you can do that. You can save the reconciliation. Here's one I saved earlier. I can recall the reconciliation and then continue on, and perhaps continue to save the draft or fully reconcile it out at that point in time. One of the major changes within 2010 is with regards to analysis codes. Previously, your analysis codes wouldn't be stored in, say, your customer record. They're stored in a slightly separate table, which made it quite difficult to actually report on the analysis code. So what's happened now is the maintenance of analysis codes happens within Accounting System Manager settings. So within here you can set up as many analysis codes as you wish and how these particular analysis codes operate. So on this particular one here we've got bio, so we have a pick list of items we can choose, or purchasing area or account manager. So there's a whole bunch of choices within this particular analysis code. But for individual analysis codes, you can set that when the user is choosing to fill information in on that analysis code, be it on the sales ledger, purchase ledger, sales order processing, purchase order processing, or bill of materials, that you have the ability to give them the choice to enter free text, so they could type in a name that isn't contained within this list. Plus you can also give them the ability to add new on entry, which is the ability to effectively add to this list. So if somebody new has joined and you need to add them to the list, it can be done on the fly within the particular area. So here's where you set up the codes. Then from there, and in each individual module, you can determine how the codes operate. So we're in sales ledger here, down in utilities and maintain analysis codes. So we're pulling through some of the analysis codes here. We're allowed up to 20 analysis codes in particular areas. So now there's 20 on the sales ledger, purchase ledger, 20 on sales order processing and purchase order processing, 20 on stock, and 20 on bill of materials. So you can pull through the analysis code here, but you can also rename it for a particular area. So I could actually call this perhaps sales area instead of sales region. So I'm using exactly the same code. So what this means is you can set up an individual code within Accounting System Manager, use it in different areas of Sage, and call it different things in different areas of Sage, but you're still using the same code. You can also set whether the items are mandatory or not. In terms of operation, it's still working in the same way. So if we open up a customer account here, they're still attached down in the trading area, so we still have our analysis codes here, and obviously the operation as to what information I put in here depends on how I set the analysis code up. But in this particular instance, the important thing is here, it's actually now storing it with the customer record. So if I come across to the new report designer, I'll be dealing with the report designer in a separate blog here. Here we have a very simple report of customer account number, customer account name, and account balance. But you can see here under the customer account table, I now have the analysis codes within the table, which makes it considerably easier to do your reporting. Also back in the main program, down on say sales order processing in this instance, and SOP maintenance and maintain my analysis codes, again you can choose your main 20 from here as to how they're going to operate, and also you can set exactly whether people can amend them as they're adding on sales orders as you previously could, and how those items are passed into stock history. So obviously now, instead of having the previous 6 analysis codes, it's now extended up to 20, and previously 3 of those 6 analysis codes could be passed into your stock transaction history. Well, there's also now 20 on stock transaction history, so you can now pass all 20 through into your stock items, thereby greatly increasing your availability for reporting and business intelligence management. So those are some of the sort of unrelated to a particular area changes within Sage 200 2010. So keep a lookout on the blog, and I'll be adding in further blogs with regards to all of the further new features in Sage 200 2010. Thank you.